Glorious sunny day for golf. I'd like to thank Reed Lanzinger, Kimberly, the Canoebrook staff for all their support. Reed was unbelievable in helping put this together. I couldn't have done it without him. My daughter Keegan wrote a beautiful letter to encourage everybody to come and help support Live On New York. My daughter-in-law Ellen wrote the marketing brochure. And Paige, we love Paige. Paige helps spread the word. Paige is Christopher's girlfriend. She's been so supportive of our family. I also have my son Matthew here, and my son Christopher, and Michael, who is Keegan's boyfriend, soon to be part of the family one day. For playing golf, and Mike hit the apartment building on 2. So that was fun today. My sisters, Tish, who is my oldest sister, I'm the second, my sister Jamie, my sister-in-law Sue, my brother Timothy, my brother-in-law Michael. I couldn't do this without any of them. My friends, I can't name all of you. I have so many friends, and that's why I can do this. And that's why I can stand up here and talk to all of you. And my dad and my new grandson Kevin, my mascots. And all my friends. And all of you. I don't even know some of you. I've never met you before. But thank you so much for coming out to support this cause. Kevin's friend, Joe Caruso, said to me, Siobhan, we have to do a golf outing for Kevin's birthday, which is next Friday, October 7th. And I'm like, yeah, let's do that. What a great idea. So, but I have to say, I mean, it was a lot of work, but it was, you know, I'm so glad that we did it. And we've raised over $30,000. Live On New York is an organ donor organization. It's kind of weird, but last year, before Kevin had his episode, we had been sitting around the kitchen table and talking about organ donation. And Kevin had been an organ donor since he was 17, since he got his driver's license. But I think, like, as much as you check the box for organ donation, it's also very important to talk about it with your loved ones. Because, you know, they could be an organ donor and you'd be like, no way, I'm not gonna do that. I think it's really important to discuss it, and everybody should be on board that that's what your loved one wants. I'm going to read you a letter from Live On New York that I received last week. On behalf of Live On New York, we are honored to share some health status updates of your husband's thankful recipients. Because of Mr. Kelly's generous gifts, the recipients have been given a second chance at a new life and renewed health. The Transplant Center reports that the grateful right kidney recipient is doing well, kidney working well. The other Transplant Center reports that the left kidney recipient reports feeling well with some fatigue and is able to return back to a normal lifestyle. Lastly, another transplant center reports the following on the liver recipient. According to our nurse, the recipient below is doing well. He's back to his normal life and grateful. We are still following up on 2 remaining recipients, but as soon as they hear, they will let me know. I want to thank you and your family for honoring Mr. Kelly's selfless decision during a difficult time in your lives. It is compassionate and generous families like yours that provide hope to all recipients. So Kevin, we love you. Happy birthday. Cheers. I'd like to introduce two people from Live On New York that have come to speak to you. Heidi Evans, who is the executive director of Live On New York, and Tracy Rossi, who was right next to me, the nurse. I'm trying to figure out what the title was. Advanced practitioner. She was my right side person.
Superstar.
I'm sorry, superstar. Come on up.
What a beautiful day. You know, I came, but I'm not a golfer. My husband and I, probably one of the reasons we're still married is we both don't golf. You know, many years ago on our honeymoon, it was a beautiful day like today, and we thought, oh, we'll take golf lessons. You know, maybe we'll be golfers. Well, we went out, took private lessons. It was a lovely day. I had a great score. He did not. Hence, we had never played golf. But we're still married. Hello, everyone. My name is Tracy Rossi, and I am grateful and honored to be part of this wonderful day to celebrate the life of Kevin Kelly. Let me quickly tell you a little bit about myself and what I and my colleagues do at Live On New York. I am a nurse specializing in adult and pediatric critical care. In 2014, I became a transplant coordinator for the New York Organ Donor Network, which is formally named Live On New York. I am not employed by a hospital, but I travel to 100 different hospitals in the designated service area, which includes the 5 boroughs of New York City, Westchester, Orange, and Putnam counties, and as far north as Poughkeepsie. I also travel throughout Long Island and as far east as Southampton. My colleagues and I evaluate, clinically manage, and orchestrate the procurement. I go to the OR. I do not perform surgery, but I am the captain of the ship. My coworkers and I work 24-hour shifts, not sleeping in a call room, but caring for our donor patients and their families. Our patients are adults and children. Our oldest donor was 93 years young. Her family generously donated her liver. The liver is ageless, so there is hope for many of you. My youngest donor was an 8-week-old baby. Her parents said yes to donation in the hopes of ending another parent's suffering. I want to tell you about the incredible, incredible families I am honored to meet. I meet families in their darkest hour, when their loved one is dying. The medical team may inform a family the clinical diagnosis is futile, or the medical team may say their family member is brain dead. I am then introduced, and it is my role to ask his family to save a life, even though their family member can no longer be saved. I am asking them to save another life, maybe up to 9 lives, lives of people they have never, ever met. This is heart-wrenching for them, and for me as well. My colleagues and I are asking families to stop grieving for a moment and think of others. And you know what? They do. Not all, but many families say yes. They say yes, they want to save lives. They want their son or their daughter or their spouse or their family member to live on in others. These families are brave, they are selfless, and they are simply amazing. Despite their loss, they do not want others to suffer. They understand that not only in life are we to do right, but in death also. Now let me tell you how I met the Kelly family. In February, I was at NYU with a donor patient. I was working the 20th hour of my shift when my office called to tell me there was another referral in another ICU 2 floors up. A 57-year-old man who had had a devastating stroke. That man was Kevin Kelly. Kevin was a registered donor, which means I do not have to ask his family per se. I have to notify his family. Less difficult than asking, but difficult nonetheless. as Kevin had already made his wishes known. So I went to meet the family at 4 o'clock in the morning. They were rightfully devastated. Introductions were made, and Kevin's children and his wife understood the grave prognosis and were not surprised that her husband and their father was a registered donor. Then the process began. Now, in my experience, there is usually a connection made with the staff member who completes the official paperwork, who gets the authorization. This is when a lot of explanations regarding the process are provided. This is when stories of the donor are shared, with tears and with laughter. However, this was a big connection, as I identified with this family, Catholic, married forever, nearly the same age as my husband Sid and myself. We have 6 children. The Kellys have 3. One who even attended mine and my husband's alma mater, the Catholic University of America. I looked at the man lying in the bed and thought, this could be my husband. This could be my children. His wife could be me. My shift ended at 8:30 a.m. I was off for the next few days, so I was not at NYU to continue to care for Kevin and support his family, or even take their dad, Siobhan's husband, to the OR. I went to the wake the following week. Let me tell you, this man was loved. This was the first wake I attended for a donor. I went because I wanted to see Kevin's family again, having only spent a few hours with them while at NYU. It was packed. I went during my dinner break from a hospital in the Bronx, driving to North Jersey. After waiting in line for 30 minutes to even get into the building, I asked the funeral director if I could cut the line because I was working. I was wearing scrubs, so he believed me, but it was true. It was so nice to see the Kelly family again, and I met the Kellys' large extended family. There was so much love and sadness, but so much support. I was able to attend the funeral. I was not able to attend the funeral due to work, but Siobhan sent me the video of the eulogy. Matt's speech is a tough act to follow. Kevin Kelly was a great husband. He was a great father and truly a great man. And on top of how Kevin Kelly lived his life, in death he continued to give to others. Kevin Kelly is a hero. I have been a nurse for 37 years. Prior to working at LiveOnNY New York, I have had the opportunity to care for many adults and children who were waiting for heart and lung transplants. Many families, especially parents, would share with me while they prayed for the life-saving miracle of a donated organ, they could not imagine the death of another baby to save the life of their own. I reminded the parents and the families, only God makes that decision. He decides who lives and who does not. But they can pray that a family, a parent, will say yes to donation. Which is why I'm here today, to share my stories and Kevin's legacy, and many legacies that are created because of families like the Kellys. Every one of my patients have left footprints across my heart, and by the grace of God, He continues to make room for more.